Hey, what's going on, guys? Yesterday we've been scraping this site stopjobs.lk, which is the Sri Lanka based job opportunities advertisements site, and we did implement the scraper using Requests BeautifulSoup, and here is the source code. So if you've been watching the previous video, you definitely already saw this. If not, I'll put the link in the description below this one. But the problem with this scraper was that it was as slow as hell. So yesterday I didn't yet know how to actually scrape images using Python SCRAPY framework, and when I started diving into the documentation, I found lots of things like some media pipelines or some complicated systems to download those images, and that's not the approach I really would ever like to consider. And if you've been following this channel for quite a bit of time, you probably know that I used to use Python SCRAPY framework my own way, even if it's not kind of like saying the best practices regarding Python SCRAPY documentation. So here in this video I would like to share my own way of how can one easily scrape images using Python SCRAPY framework. And for those of you who just want to get the bare gist of this and don't really want to follow the entire tutorial, I will demonstrate the technique just right now within the Python SCRAPY shell here. So just to invoke the SCRAPY shell, and for all the others, welcome to the tutorial basically. So the reason here was, so if you just trying to consider clicking on one of job opportunities, here we got this kind of image. So if I just open this in a new tab basically, so here is the link that we need to scrape our image from. So yesterday I did provide the crawling logic to first make a request to this site, then recursively find the advertisement URL, and then again, like within the advertisement URL, trying to find this image URL and scrape it basically while making an HTTP GET request there. So if I just use this fetch method within the Python SCRAPY shell and just paste our GPG, so we got, if we say just like response.body, very simple, we got the bytes that we've retrieved as the response, and these bytes are exactly the bytes representing the data of our image. And now that simple way of store it, we can simply say just like with open, and I just want to store this to my desktop, so desktop, and I just call this image.gpg or png. Is this gpg? Okay, GPG. And important part here, we need not to write but write bytes as file, and now we can simply say f.write, and here response.body. This is it, we did write our bytes. If I just now go to my desktop, then we'll find this image that we've just scraped from the target site. So this was the very short version of this tutorial. So for those of you who enjoyed this way of doing things, congratulations, you're done basically, so you can feel free to use it in your own projects. And for all the others, I would like to go through crawling the entire site and basically scrape all the available images. So without further ado, let's actually start. So I just delete this image and go to my SCRAPY tutorials Git repository and just create a new folder called jobs, and here create a new empty Python file, source file. I'll call this jobs.py, and here first let me just quickly provide a header. So script to scrape images from jobs.lk, and here, and just say bye and code monkey king. This is me for those of you who don't know this yet. So I'm also known as Monkey King. Okay, so I really like this nice, real cute headers at the very beginning of source file explaining what in particular this script is doing. So now we need to import some packages. So we need to import Scrapy, and then from scrapy.crawler import crawler process. Okay, and I don't know if we need something more. Basically, let's drop it like this for the moment. And now we need to define our images scraper class. So I say class images scraper, and it would inherit from scrapy.spider, which is the general purpose Scrapy spider. Now we need to provide the scraper or spider, call it however you want, name, and the name will be equal to, let's call it image scraper, like this. And now let's consider the base URL we're supposed to be start crawling this site with. So this seems to be the base URL. Okay, just grab this. And regarding the selectors, I would actually reuse those I've used yesterday in my tutorial, just in order to save your time, guys. Okay, so we got the base URL. You know, I probably I can also reuse the headers from the previous project. So let me just try to quickly grab this stuff as well. So I just want to provide some custom headers here. Okay, and just before proceeding, I want to provide the main driver here. So I can simply say like main driver, and if name equals to name, in this case we can run our scraper, and I'm creating the process variable that would be the instance of the crawler process. And again, this is needed in order to being able to run this scraper from within a Python script instead of running this via the Scrapy shell, as some of you might have considered. Then we need to say process.crawl, and we're using our image scraper as an argument, so exactly this kind of name. So make sure no typos. Yeah, I did have some typo. Okay, and process.start to eventually start our scraper. And now if I just try to open the terminal, the current working directory, and by simply typing Python 3 jobs.py, I start my scraper. Okay, I didn't start my scraper for some reason. This is a bit strange. Okay, just let me close everything there and try one more time. This is very strange. Okay. I got, what have I done? If name equals to main. I'm sorry guys, really sorry for this. Yeah, so now everything works pretty nicely. And now I guess it's time to provide the crawler's entry point. And here we got a def, so I'm defining the method called start requests, which is literally the entry point of the Scrapy spider, the basic spider we're inheriting from. It would take only the self instance, and this is kind of it. And here we need to make initial HTTP request, and I need simply to say yield and scrapy.request. And now I need to provide a bunch of parameters. So the first one would be the URL. In our case, the URL would be equal to self.base URL. Nothing much, so no string query parameters, so nothing to append here, using URL parse URL code, say, or similar. So the next thing to consider, I would like to provide the headers we just defined here. So headers would be equal to self.headers. and finally define the callback function that would be equal self dot, and the very first so I call this parse jobs. Okay, so you know, like Scrapy is using that Twisted Internet library that allows us to make asynchronous HTTP requests and much more, basically. So that's the reason for having a callback function. So as far as the request fires, we need to call something back in return. Okay, so here we got our parse jobs callback function, and I define, I say like def parse jobs, and here I have the self, it will take the self instance followed by the response object. And here again, like, just in order to save your time, guys, I want to have a look at the selectors I've used there. So extracting the job URLs, so I was looking for, okay, URL references. Okay, let me think. So here I did use some sort. So how did I get those? So I was just looking literally for all the A tags. Well, it's not really the best ever approach, actually, but let me have a look at the source code quickly, just to make sure there is no other way, but probably there is no other way. I could have also gone through every table data tag, actually, as well, because this seems to be a table data like. So let me just try to have a look. So we have table data, and nope, it's not good because we got some different A tags. Well, now let's basically try to follow this sort of an approach. I'm just wondering, so here I used just I was looking for literally all okay, so let me just grab this quickly and trying to adjust this to Python SCRAPY framework. So the job URLs, and well, first of all we don't have this stuff. Instead, in Scrapy we need to say like response.css, and we're looking for all the A tags, and actually we are looking for the attribute of href, but yeah, attribute of href, and here we say like base URL plus URL, so we don't have this href here, so we're splitting the URL hopefully by this JavaScript open window, and if this JavaScript open window is available. Okay, so anyway, we need to loop over job URLs. So if it now works, so say for URL in job URLs. If it now works, I would now quickly explain what have I've done here. So print URL, and let's try to see if we get something in return, basically. Okay, selector object is not subscriptable. Yeah, so we need to say url.get. Okay, now this should work. Okay, something wrong again. Again, selector object is not subscriptable. Are you kidding me, man? Oh, that's because in url.get here. Okay. Base URL is not defined, so we need to say self.base URL, obviously, because it's the object-oriented approach here, and the base URL is the inner field of the image scraper class. Okay, and hopefully we did extract our link. So if it just now works nicely, I will now explain what kind of code I used to extract this, guys. And Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, I just grabbed something. Did I grab something wrong there? Come on. That's not what I was supposed to see here. Hold on a sec. Okay, so let me just try to extract the pure URL .get. So okay, what we are doing here. So first of all, we're getting all the A tags without specifying any CSS classes or something, because there are no unique attributes there. So literally all extracting all available A tags, and not the A tags entirely, but only the href attribute to be extracted out of them. And then we're using the list comprehension, so we're using this URL.get for URL in this list if we have this string, which is the part of URL, is available in the URL itself. So I'm just wondering, then I was extracting the URL itself, but for some reason it gives me not exactly what I'm supposed to see there, what I'm supposed to get there. So let me just try to first print the entire URL list. Yeah, this is it. So it should have been like employer, right? Yeah, so I'm just wondering why did it give me some applicant there? Oh, that's because okay, so yeah, I got what's wrong there. Sorry guys, sorry. So that's because I'm copy pasting it literally. So here I call it the base URL, and the base URL is slightly bit different. So I just better call this guy. So again, like, so the base URL would be this, and this one I call this the start URL instead, just to distinguish between them. So this would be the start URL, and this would be the base URL. And actually here in the initial request we need to use the start URL. Okay, and now this should work perfectly well. Let me just have a look. Okay, because we're appending base URL a couple of times. Well, here it's not really, yeah, by the way, you know, like even more, like, so probably, yeah, as far as this is Python SCRAPY framework, we don't even need this. But yeah, let me just try to check this out. So now this should have go to the particular advertisement. Yeah, perfect. So yeah guys, I'm sorry, we don't even need this, so I can just leave this base URL, and we don't even need to append this base URL. We can just leave the bare URL, because SCRAPY allows us to use response.follow method that would construct a link for us automatically. So this is it basically. And now we're looking over all the job URLs, and for every job we need simply to say like so crawl next job URL, and here we need to yield another request, so I say yield, and here we're using the response.follow and providing, oh my god, providing literally the same arguments. So the URL in this case would be equal to URL, so this is the argument name, and this is the variable itself. Then headers is absolutely the same, like self.headers, and the only difference would be the callback function. So let's call this one parse image. So self dot parse image. Okay, and this is the only image, so yeah, not in plural but in single. So parse image, perfect. Also, I want to break after the very first iteration, because during the debugging process I don't really want to torture the server. So now we can simply say like parse image, and I create the method called def parse image, and it would take the self instance followed by the response object, just like the parse jobs. And here I just need to pick up the image selector. So let me just reference the request in BeautifulSoup code I've already written here. So here so we need to extract the image URL, so we're using the div id equals to remark, and we're looking for the image source, so image URL. Okay, so extract image URL, and again, like, this URL comes from the source code of this kind of stuff. So we just inspect the element, we will see this div id remark, this is it. So it has an image inside, and that image's source is literally what we need. So image URL would be equal to response.css, and we're looking for a div tag, and id attribute would be equal to remark, like this. I hope I spelled this correctly, and we're looking for the attribute of source. Okay, and we need to get the only one here, and as far as we got this, we actually need to make yet another request. So here we need to say like fetch image URL, and here we need to say again, like, well, before doing this, let me just quickly try to print image URL, so just to see that it works as expected. Okay, and now with the full-blown scrapy speed, I guess this should be way more faster compared to request and BeautifulSoup implementations, but still the initial request takes quite a bit of time, but doesn't matter that much really. So where is our image URL? So it needs to be something like GPG or something. Oh, it says like it's none. You kidding me, man? It can't be. Okay, just to make sure. So okay, so what did it do wrong? Response.css, is this div, right? So probably I did spell remark, copy, id, right? id div attribute source. Yeah, should work. This is really weird, but okay, let's try this one more time. I don't know, it did work yesterday, it worked perfectly well basically. I have no idea why this doesn't work. Maybe something wrong with the selector. Let me see. Image URL, nothing there. Okay, this is strange. So employer, okay, let me just try to grab the particular, oh my god, why do I have so many? Okay, I don't need this one anymore. So let me just try to, am I heading? Oh, come on, man. Okay, so I just wanna paste the link of the particular image URL I'm trying to crawl through, and Let's inspect this one more time. So is this a div ID remark? Yes, this is it. So oh, I need to extract the image. Oh my god, what have I done? Obviously, yeah. So I'm sorry guys, sorry, what have I done? So yeah, it's not exactly there is a double yeah, so I need to say dot CSS, and here we're looking for image and the attribute of source. Now this should work. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know. I just watched probably. I took a look over here, and yeah, this recursive image finder. Yeah, just missed that for some reason. No idea why. So now this should give us a particular image actually. A particular image URL that we eventually will crawl through. Yeah, perfect, this is it. So this is the image. Okay, so it probably generates the link somehow differently. Well, doesn't matter. So now I just want to create a folder called images to store all the images right over there. Also I want to open this folder just because here I won't see any images because the code editor doesn't consider the images to be displayed here, because only the textual files are available for some reason. Okay, and as far as we got this, so we can now make our final request. So I can say yield, and again response.follow, and here the URL would be equal to image URL, okay, and headers would be equal to self.headers, okay, and the callback function finally will create the method called self.scrape image, like this. And now let's actually define this scrape image method. So scrape image over in here, and we can say def scrape image, and sorry, it takes the self instance followed by the response object, and here we actually need to write image bytes to output file. Okay, I will also need to provide the file name, I guess. So here we say extract file name, extract image file name. So file name would be equal to, and let me just reference my previous code to see how I done that there. So I use the image URL and this kind of stuff, so it's nothing special here. So I can say response.url, and so we're splitting by this logo, so splitting by this logo, and then replacing the slash with, I don't know, with underscore, right? And replacing all available empty spaces with underscores as well, if available. So this is kind of it, nothing much to explain here. And the gist essence part of this tutorial, so here we need to say with open, and I'm providing the file name, okay, and write bytes. This is very important. If you just keep this like right, it won't work. So write bytes as f, and here you need to say f.write response.body, and response.body is the bare bytes of the response object, so the bare bytes of the image we're trying to scrape. So we're just directly writing these bytes to our file. So now I hold my breath and try to run this within, okay, didn't say this right. I'll try to run this to scrape the only image and see if it works actually. So some image should appear right over in here. Let's have a look. initial response takes time, unfortunately, but yeah. So yesterday was kind of the same thing, so every single response takes too many time for some reason. But hold on a sec, I can't see. Oh, I just did store it to, yeah, I stored this to the current working directory. It's not exactly what we need, so just delete this, delete, and here I can say like images like this, and now this should work. So as far as this should already kind of work, I can also get rid of this break statement, and yeah, so do I have any more break statements here? No, I don't. Perfect. So from now on, the entire script should have scraped literally all the images from that site. So let me try to run this hopefully one last time, and let's enjoy the show. Okay, and as far as this would be downloading, I would like to say a few more words regarding this topic in particular. Okay. I'm not sure what this comes from. Got a Microsoft Word document for some reason, which is absolutely strange, but I didn't have this with the Requests in BeautifulSoup, to be honest. Do we have this .gpg? Yeah, we do. Okay, I'm just wondering, let me have a look what kind of Microsoft Word document is available here. I remember there were some no, discard. There were some textual content as well, but just really wondering, is this a job advertisement as well? This would be really interesting. My God, this is it. Whoa, this is even better than I could have ever imagined. Well, this is cool. The previous Request in BeautifulSoup version didn't allow doing this like stuff. So yeah, this is really cool. Okay, okay, I pretty like it. So, and you see, like this speed is way more faster. Well, actually 8 times faster, because SCRAPY by default it uses like 8 concurrent requests. And just while this is running, let me just share my some of my thoughts regarding Python SCRAPY framework, in particular techniques to use when you're dealing with that framework. So yesterday I started with a simple simply with googling like scrape images with SCRAPY like this. So pretty trivial request, and I wanted to find basically something similar to what I've provided in this tutorial. So what I wanted to find is kind of this kind of couple of lines. So I was just wondering where within the response object of the SCRAPY request we can access the raw bytes of the response. That's literally it. That's what I wanted to get basically. But unfortunately, this kind of request gave me a way more different approach, and they started like defining. Oh no, it's with the BeautifulSoup as well. So I would probably, yeah, let's have a look at the documentation. Yeah, that was probably the very initial place I kickstart off, and downloading, processing file images, and you know, like, seems great, like exactly what I need, but it starts like, oh, using file pipelines, and oh my God, you need this all the entire SCRAPY project structure with all those files and folders being created, and then it's using the images, using image pipelines, enabling media pipeline, and all this weird settings. You know, I guess just in order to invoke this damn settings, it takes way more lines of code actually to achieve the damn result of just simply scraping a single image. Well, maybe not the single, but that's kind of too difficult, you know, like. And well, the storage is already a kind of different story, but still, you know, like. And when I just opened this, I thought like, oh my God, this is not what this doesn't answer my question really. I just wanted I was just googling for a simple solution that I wanted just to store the image, and that's kind of because I know how easy that is that is done using request library. So you can just say like request.content, and the request.content is literally the same, like, well, yeah, literally the same, like in Scrapy we can say like response.body. So we just can access the raw bytes, and that's kind of it. So what I wanted to say, that just like I've been mentioning numerous times on this channel, that when you're dealing with some sort of a framework, it's not always the best option to go, like they say, like best practices, because best practices aren't always the best. And I guess that the really best practices are those that actually fit your particular needs that you're encountering while working on one or another project. So this is kind of the gist essence of what I was trying to share with you guys. So I hope that makes perfect sense. So, well, we are still crawling this kind of site, but believe me that yesterday took I don't know, it was scraping for about an hour. And let's have a look, how many images do I have now at the moment. So okay, hold on a sec. Well, okay guys, so I'm sorry, I'm really short of time today, so I really need to run now. So I hope this is kind of perfectly clear what we did achieve in this tutorial. So literally the same what we've done with Requests and BeautifulSoup libraries yesterday, just the same stuff but with the Scrapy framework. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Until next time, and take care.